Hey guys, and welcome to this quick tutorial video on the modular road tool. And in this video we're going to take a look at how to add custom meshes and materials to the road tool. I've had several people ask me, some people have asked me on YouTube, somebody actually today just asked me on the forums if it was possible to add like a railroad track. So of course I replied and I said, yeah, super simple. But I figured I'll make this super short video just to show you guys how to do it in case you can't figure out how to do it. And if you see on my screen right now, let me just maximize here. You'll see that I actually have like a little train track that I've added to the demo scene here. And if you follow it around, you'll see that kind of goes all the way across the map. So we're going to take a look at how to do that. And I just have a regular road here with different materials applied to it. And I'll show you how to do that as well. So obviously, all of the materials that come with the with MRT are made by me. Definitely not professional, but they're all made by myself, and obviously they go really nicely because I made sure that everything kind of fits together. But you are free to use any custom mesh or any custom material that you like. So let me show you how I did that. And I just quick drive around here just to drive the point home, right? This is just a regular road, and I did this mesh earlier today. It took me about maybe 20 minutes in Blender. It's super simple. So if I'm sure for some people it's going to be even quicker than that. But all it is let me just go here and show you guys. It's 3 different meshes. You got the middle part, the wooden planks here, and then I decided to do the rails, the part that goes on top where the train actually goes. You can see here I've separated that into 2 separate meshes, the left and the right. And the reason for that is, again, to keep it modular. That's the whole point of the tool. So let's just grab a little space here, right here. Doesn't really matter. And if I just go back to MRT blueprints and I just go down to modular road tool, I'm just going to go ahead and drop it right here. I'm going to rotate it here that way. And obviously the first thing you'll see is it automatically comes loaded with the standard textures, obviously, right? But you have the option of changing the meshes. So if you just drop a regular road here, you'll notice that there are 2 default structs, defaults 1 lane, defaults 2 lanes. So let's just go ahead and do it on default 1 lane. If I go and I open here, defaults 1 lane, you'll notice that we have pavement mesh, pavement material, sidewalk mesh, right and left, and material. That's really all there is to it. So if we go and import the meshes like we did here, and for the pavement mesh, I replaced the 1 lane road with the railroad middle planks. So I did here. And I'm going to replace the left sidewalk with the left rail, and the right rail here under the right sidewalk. Right, I did that, and you'll notice that nothing happens. Now remember, every time you change the defaults, those defaults will only be applied to the new segments that are created on the road. Every time the road creates a segment, it grabs all of the details under the defaults and it constructs the road. So if I were to create a new section of the road, you'll notice that now we're pulling from the new defaults. And let me just take it out of edit mode here, and you'll see that the first section is obviously the regular road, and the second section is the actual railroad tracks. And it looks weird, and the reason for that is because obviously we didn't assign the material. So if we go back to defaults lane 1, in this case, you can download this for free from the marketplace. The game textures free materials, so I just picked up some materials here. So for the railroad itself is the wooden planks. I think I was using fantasy wood here. And then for the actual metal rails, I was just using metal brushed steel. And you can replace it right here, sidewalk material. And the same deal, we just changed the defaults, so it will only apply itself when you drag a new section of the road, in this case the rail, right? And you can see that this is exactly what it looks like. Now obviously, because of the UV mapping, the textures aren't exact, so when you create your custom mesh, make sure that you UV map it correctly for whatever material you want. So this is one way of doing it, but what if you want the entire road to be this new railroad defaults? Obviously there's one way of doing that. All you have to do is click on reset defaults, and then it'll automatically recreate the entire spline with the brand new defaults that you have. And that's really all there is to it, right? You are also free to do it on a segment by segment basis, right? So this is the easy way, just changing it under defaults, but you can go into each individual segment here and change the road mesh, right? So if I go here, MRT 1, for example, 1 lane road, you'll notice that for this specific segment, segment 1, and you can see the green numbers 1 to 2. For this segment, I want to use the MRT 1 lane road mesh, and that's what you're seeing here, but I'm still keeping the material for the wooden planks, which is why it looks like that, right? So in that case, obviously, let me go back to railway middle planks here. So those are two different ways of doing it, right? If you want to know specific segments, open the segment itself and change the settings, or before you build your road, make sure that you change the defaults. You can do it also for the defaults for the 2 lanes as well. And that's pretty much it. And everything else should work perfectly fine. As you can see, as I am, moving the spline here a little bit, you can see that the road just kind of bends just like you would expect. All right. And obviously the second use case here, which again should be pretty self-explanatory, this portion here, this is using the road mesh, and all I did was pick up a couple of materials again from the free materials pack from Game Textures and change the defaults for specific parts of the road. You can see it's like a dirt with grass, then this is kind of like some kind of stone, and this is again a different kind of dirt. So very, very easily you can create like a dirt road. You can add almost any type of material as long as it's UV mapped correctly. And you can do it again either through the defaults. In this case, that's what I did, ground dirt tan, or you can do it on a segment by segment basis, right? So again, if I were to change this, I don't know, let's do metal cybercube. I'm not sure this is going to look right, but let's just try it, right? And I change the defaults once again. As soon as I drag this, you'll see that the shaders will compile and the new material will be applied only to this segment. Whoa, that looks kind of cool, actually. Maybe a sci-fi road. And that's pretty much it. You can see here the same road spline has different materials for different segments of the road. All you have to do is change the defaults and continue working on your road, or go back to the individual segments and change the materials there. All right, that's pretty much it. It's super simple. You have a lot of flexibility. So hopefully this was useful. If you're trying to wonder how I did it, let me know in the comments if you have any other questions. But I think this is pretty simple here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. I'm really glad that you guys are enjoying the modular road tool. So let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot.